is PCI DSS? Okay, so when somebody talks about what PCI DSS is, you need to realize what they are talking about. Are they talking about the standard, or are they talking about the compliance program? Okay, now when you talk about the standard, now it would be represented by this blue icon, and the compliance will take it up later, which will be represented by this orange one, right? So when you talk about the standard, we are talking about this particular document. Okay, now this document, payment card industry data security standard version 4.0, which was launched in 2022, is available on the PCI security standards.org document library. Now this is freely available to all to download, so I'll give you the link right away. Okay, because this is going to be a standard for reference, future references. Yeah, I'll just browse through and give you the link. Yeah, so this is the website for PCI security standards. Okay, and here if you go, this is the official website, and here when you go in resources, you have document library. I'll share the link in a while, just hold on. Okay, and in this document library you have this PCI DSS version 4.0. Now both the versions are active. I'll tell you why these both versions are active. We'll see the life cycle of it. Okay, and when you click on this download, you will get this agreement to be filled up and all these things, and once you accept it, you would be able to download it. Got it? So I'll give you this link. I have shared this link with the chat on this chat. You guys can refer this document, or you can see the screen. I will be sharing the snippets from the document, which would be helpful for you to understand. Yeah. Now, if you see, just look into my screen right now. When I clicked on the download button, it opened this website, basically a privacy statement which you need to agree and do all these things. Correct? But if you see the link here, right, if I put this link directly into Google, or basically into my browser, okay, let's see, let's go through Google. I'll put up this standard document. Viking version 4 perspectives. Very good. So I'll tell you what, this link was directly available to download the document without doing the PCI Standards Council agreement. Okay, so if you would have pasted the link directly as what I'm showing you right now, you would be easily see the document online on the web, on the Google, and you would be able to download it from the PCI security standards. Now that was a fix which they did in December, because I was able to access this directly without doing a license agreement. Okay, it would bypass this. Can anybody tell me what which OWASP it is? Top 10 of OWASP. So I was able to directly go to the link and download the document rather than going through this.
Redirectional attacks.
Redirectional attacks. Basically, it's not a attack as such, because it was a vulnerability in the system. So we didn't enforce any attack, but it's nothing but an example of broken access control, BAC.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we would able to bypass this page, and we were able to directly download it. Now let me tell you, this was working till December, and good that they have mitigated this. We would have just seen the link and we would be able to download. Now you guys have to fill up this form and download it, so please do so. I'll give you the direct link as well. Just check. So you can download this document for once. I have again pasted the link in the chat window. So this is how the document looks like. Okay, so PCI DSS requirements and testing procedures version 4.0, and it's labeled as March 2022. So download this document if you can. Yeah, and I'll just take it up from there. There are several other documents as well. Will go by these. I'll explain as much as possible for the other documents. Okay, so that is what this document is. Yeah, and it has these 12 requirements into it. Okay, now if you see the 12 requirements which I have shown here, now this is a wording. These wordings which you see have firewalls, note down, defaults. Now these are just short wordings which are there. In fact, these are references to 3.2.1. Okay, but now if you see in 4.0, they are basically gone ahead and changed the wordings. Okay, now if you see these 12 requirements, like install and maintain network security controls, they do not talk about install and maintaining firewalls. They talk about install and maintain network security controls, right? Because you guys know, as in, not only firewalls, but there are other several network security components which are used to go ahead and protect, like your IDS, IPS, your DMZs, right, your firewalls. So all these play an important role in network security, and hence they now termed it as network security controls. Yeah, so similarly, earlier it was called as having defaults. Now they call it as apply secure configurations to all system components. So these are the 12 requirements here, and they have categorized into these 6 categories: build and maintain secure networks, protect account data, maintain a vulnerability management program, implement strong access control measures, and so on and so forth. So we will be going through all these 12 requirements, and there are around 280 plus sub requirements. Okay, so we'll not go through all of them, but we'll go through the main ones in terms of the main requirements over here. Yeah. Okay, everybody was able to access the document, particularly Indrajit. No issue in accessing that document, right?
Yeah, I'm
From
accessing
your
it. No
from
issue.
your IP, right? Okay, good. Okay, so this is how the requirement was looking like in 3.2.1. So there was a main requirement, then there was a sub 22 sub requirements, and then there are testing procedures. Okay, currently now this is the new layout which you will see. Okay, wherein in this just guys, look into my screen if you guys are downloading in a minute. Just do that in a break if possible. Yeah, so if you see, there is this requirement as what we talked about. Now this is a sub requirement 3.4.2. Okay, then you have these guidance. Okay, now this guidance is nothing but the intent of the requirement, but now they have done very good bifurcations in terms of purpose, good practice, definitions, further information, even examples are there in your guidance, and of course the references to some of the ISOs, some of the databases as such. Okay, then you have the testing procedures. Okay, now defined approach testing procedures. Right now, these testing procedures are based on 3 characteristics which we will see later. Okay, and how you can test this particular requirement. Okay, now the new one which they have added, that is called as something like this: customized approached objective. Okay, so a PAN cannot be copied or relocated by unauthorized personnel using remote access technologies. Now what happens is, now you guys know that organizations have got a bit more complex with your cloud computing and all, right, and other remote access technologies, right? So if a testing procedure is not able to cover those latest ones as such, you can take this generic approach for the testing procedure. Okay, so each one of the sub requirement has different testing procedures in terms of customized approach objective, so you can look into those as well. Okay, this is something fairly new which they have introduced, so we haven't seen any usage as such in current implementations which we are done, because mostly the defined testing approach cover it. But then again, if something comes up, I'll definitely tell you, because it's quite brand new. Okay, then you have applicability notes, where it is applicable, right? So this is applicable where you are storing and relocating PAN. So all those things are mentioned in this applicability notes.
So
Yeah.
that's just a quick question.
Yes.
When was this 4.0 introduced? I mean, how long it
Yeah.
has been, and what's the adaptability right now?
March 2022.
Okay.
Okay.
And we are already having folks adopting this or not?
I will come to this life cycle. If you see here, okay, so what happens is, if you are doing a new implementation, if you see the timeline here, if you are doing a new implementation, you need to do it as per 4.0.
Okay.
Right now, the companies which are currently certified as PCI DSS, they are still using 3.2.1. Okay, and it is still in practice, and it is said yet to retire in 2024 31st March. Okay,
Okay.
right? So new implementation would happen against V4. Okay, but current compliance can happen against, or basically audits can happen against 3.2.1.
But if suppose certain organizations are in mid of implementation, and
No,
you know,
then they have to refer to 4.0. Ideally, it's fine if you do 3.2.1. It's not that compulsory you have to implement 4.0. But then again, if new thing is there, right, why to go for a 3.2.1? Yeah, so there is no drastic change as such. Okay, in fact, it's much better in 4.0. It's much more clearer in 4.0. Okay, so they can apply the use a 4.0 document. That's much better. Current organizations, what will happen is, during this timeline till 2024, we are definite that there is going to be a 4.0.x version which is going to come. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So companies who are currently into 3.2.1, they will not, directly start applying for a V4. They will wait till the end of 2023. Okay. Till the newer version comes up, and if a 4.0.x comes up, they will implement that way. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it works. So currently 3.2.1 is there. You can assess against 3.2.1. It's always advisable to implement a newer 4.0. And this will be not told by anybody. This will be told by your client itself. Client will tell you, hey, go ahead and implement 4.0. You don't have any choice but to implement that, right? And
Sure.
that's what happens in PCI. It's not a legal requirement. It's a contractual requirement. Yeah, so we'll look into that part as well.
You will be talking about both the aspects, right? Like contractual
Yes.
as well as sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
So when you talk about testing procedures over here, okay, so testing procedures, if you see, they are broken into three main activities. Okay, either you examine, that is, either you examine the documents, or either examine the configuration and paper records, as what you do in your audit. Okay, when you observe, you basically are observing people, you're observing the settings and configuration, you're observing the physical environment, right? And the third one is basically interviewing the people, right? Interviewing people for going ahead and getting information, and if they are abiding by the policy as such, right? So these are the three main activities, basically, for which are for testing procedures.